The world of bees is not about chance. Their behavior is guided by tiny signals, hidden clues, and biological mechanisms. The stimulation system takes advantage of exactly this. We step in consciously, guiding the colony's activity to boost development, strengthen nectar collection, and maximize hive performance. This is one of the most exciting tools of modern beekeeping, and today we are going to uncover what's really behind it. The stimulation system is not a new fad, but a well-founded method that helps align the natural rhythm of the bee colony with our goals. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how this system works, which biological processes it's built on, and how it impacts colony development, honey production, and overall hive health. You'll also see how you can apply it in your own beekeeping. But what exactly is the stimulation system? It is the conscious guidance of colony development using protein and energy-rich supplements. The main idea is to provide the necessary nutrition even before or outside of nectar flows, so brood rearing continues steadily, the colony grows stronger, and by the time the main flows arrives, it reaches its maximum performance. The most common forms of stimulation are protein patties and pollen substitute that meet the brood's protein needs, energy stimulation with syrups that maintain the bee's flight and foraging activity while strengthening the hive's internal energy resources, and vacuum or modern stimulation system that allow controlled, steady feeding so the colony always receive optimal nutrition. The idea of stimulation is not new. Even old-time beekeepers fed syrup when there wasn't enough nectar in nature. But today's modern systems are more precise, cleaner, and more efficient, making it possible to develop colonies in a stronger and more controlled way. How does it work? The core of the stimulation system is to influence colony development by meeting their nutritional needs with precision. Bee development rests on two main pillars: energy and protein. The foundation of energy stimulation is corn syrup or sugar syrup. This provides an immediate energy source for the workers, stimulating flight, wax production, and overall colony activity. When applied correctly, the presence of syrups inside the hive imitates a natural nectar flow, making the bees behave as if abundant forage were available. This pushes the colony to work harder and develop faster. Protein stimulation is done with pollen substitute patties. Protein is essential for brood development because larvae grow from it, and it's also what the bees use to produce royal jelly. When there isn't enough natural pollen available, the patty provides the necessary amino acids and vitamins. This directly determines how fast the colony can grow and how many young workers enter the system. Vacuum and automated stimulation system make sure that feeding doesn't come as a one-time shock, but as a steady, balanced supply for the colony. This way you avoid both overloading and shortage, and the bees show stable, consistent development. The principle is simple. The right amount and quality of nutrition directly stimulates the rate of brood rearing, which strengthens the entire colony and boosts its productivity. The effectiveness of stimulation is proven not only by laboratory studies, but also by everyday beekeeping practice. Many beekeepers have already observed that colony development is significantly faster when stimulation is applied at the right time and in the right way. In spring, when there is still little pollen available in nature, beekeepers use protein patties to kickstart brood rearing. With this support, colonies can reach the strength needed to take advantage of major nectar flows weeks earlier. In another case, at the end of summer, when natural nectar sources run out, energy stimulation with syrup prevents colonies from falling back. Continuous syrup feeding maintains flight activity, and the bees keep working intensely as if a nectar flow were still on. Case studies confirm this too. Apiaries that consistently use vacuum or modern stimulation systems raise stronger, more balanced colonies. The results? Larger brood areas, stronger autumn colonies, and ultimately more honey and wax in the next season. The shared experience is clear. Stimulation is not a miracle cure, but a conscious tool that measurably improves colony development and performance. Stimulation doesn't have to depend on complicated or expensive solutions. Most beekeepers can build an effective stimulation system themselves if they know the basics. The materials and parts are simple. A good quality pump with enough power, reliable connectors, T-joints, elbow, valves, etc., feeding trays or feeders, dosing nozzles, etc., and strong wires and tubing. The system can be built step by step. First, it's worth setting up a basic stimulation system that allows syrup to be delivered safely into the hive. After that, you can move on to more precise control, for example using a programmed system that prevents too much syrup from entering at once, so the colony always receives a balanced amount of food. More advanced systems can even provide continuous supply, meaning the beekeepers doesn't have to intervene every day. A few basic tips for effective operation. Always work with clean, high-quality materials. Avoid giving excessive amounts because too much syrup or patty at once can disturb the colony's natural rhythm. Watch the bees' reaction. It's better to give smaller doses more often. And finally, remember that the stimulation system never replaces a natural nectar flow. It only bridges the gaps during scarce periods. A well-designed stimulation system is simple, reliable, and pays off many times over in the long run. It works best when it's consciously built into your yearly beekeeping strategy. It doesn't need to be used all the time, only adjusted to your goals, the colony's condition, and the season. The most common time for stimulation is during spring build-up, when nature doesn't yet provide enough nectar and pollen, but the colony needs steady nutrition to strengthen brood rearing. At this stage, syrup and protein stimulation play a decisive role. It can be just important during summer gaps between nectar flows or at the end of summer when natural resources run dry. Stimulation at these times ensures that the colony doesn't fall back but stays strong before the autumn and winter season. In pollen-producing apiaries, however, we use a completely different strategy. There, the approach is to keep the stimulation system running continuously with constant monitoring. From a maintenance standpoint, always make sure the system stays clean. Replace and check patties regularly. It's also important not to overdo stimulation. The colony needs time to process and use the food it receives. In short, the stimulation system is a tool of precision. If used at the right time and in the right way, colony development stays balanced and the bees remain healthy, and the season's yield becomes far more reliable. There are many misunderstandings and myths around stimulation. One of the most common is the idea that stimulation alone can work miracles. If you give lots of syrups and patties, you'll automatically get a huge yield. This is not true. Stimulation cannot replace a good queen, a healthy colony, a proper environmental conditions, or the beekeeper's regular presence in the apiary. It only brings results when it supports a strong, well-managed colony. A typical mistake is when the beekeepers give too much syrup at once. This doesn't stimulate, it just leads to storage, which disrupts the colony's natural rhythm. Another common error is using poor quality or contaminated ingredients. This does more harm than good. Timing is another pitfall. If stimulation starts too early in spring, Before the colony's structure and strength are ready to sustain growth, the bees won't consume the syrup properly, and if left unchecked, it can even spill from the feeder. In summary, stimulation is a powerful tool, but only if it's used consciously, in moderation, and with the right timing. It's not a miracle cure, it's one of several important tools that support healthy colony development. In summary, the stimulation system is one of the most important tools of modern beekeeping. With protein and energy-rich supplements, we can boost brood growth, support steady colony development, and prepare the bees for major nectar flows. When used at the right time and in moderation, the difference can be measured both in colony strength and honey yield. Now it's your turn. Try proper, wear-time stimulation in your own apiary, observe the effects, and share your experience with others. This way, we can all grow together and enrich our shared knowledge. And if you'd like to know why we decide never to use commercial pollen substitute patties again, don't miss this video. Until next time, keep buzzing.